So let's also now talk about the container because something is quite amazing. I will share with you some customer needs for Azure AI container, okay? Because more and more people are using container, okay? So I'm going to talk about this Azure container. So we're talking about Azure AI container. So container, remember, it's just a very light a container where you have all you need, but the operating system is on the Docker host. Okay, so really, if you don't know that, it's the good time to go on internet and say what is container. Okay, you can see with Docker, for example. So Azure provides something fantastic. Is that Azure provides some Docker container for the Azure AI services. And and something is fantastic is that this container has exactly the same API that you have in Azure. And you can take this container and do something amazing is that you can run them on premise. Just imagine. Okay, so you can think about, for example, a petroleum a company who has a petrol system in the sea, and they can have a big server here, and here you can have a container, and this container is collected, and you can do anomaly detector on this, for example, Total Final, the petroleum company here. So you can run them here, or you can even run them on the server in a supermarket, for example. Otherwise, you do like we're doing since the beginning of the work, is that you just go here, and you use them. But you must have a cloud connection. If you don't have any cloud connection, you cannot connect to your Azure services. It's not possible. But now with a container, it's possible. This is amazing. So why it's important is that when you want to keep, for example, in this Total, petrol station in the sea, you maybe you want to keep it for compliance, for data, secure data. The same thing with the cloud, okay, and maybe for compliance, okay. And container support is currently available for a subset of Azure services. So remember that container is an approach of software distribution with an application, okay, and you just need so container is just something running on a host. So here we have a host here, for example, and this host actually is Azure, but you can have also some container running on your host on premise, of course, on prem, but it's just here container. The operating system is here, so this is very small. It's a very small size. And you have all inside the API, and it runs on behalf of this, of this operating system. So for example, this is the Docker engine. Okay. So in the container, what do you have in this container? Let's see, for example, inside is this container here, okay, this one. So in this container, um, it's including all the dependency that you need. Dependency, and the configuration, and all is an image. Okay, and so to create this container, you will pull an image from Microsoft registry. So it's like a depository, or you can have it like with Docker Hub, thing like that. And container is isolated from each other. Okay, so you can have a lot of container, and each container, it's like a VM, but it's not a VM, okay, really. And it's a very smaller footprint than a VM. So what are the benefits of a container? You have a lot of benefits in container. Okay, let's just go here and see some benefits. So the first benefit is the immutable, immutable infrastructure. What does it mean? So it's enabled DevOps teams to leverage a consistency and reliable set of known system parameters while being able to adapt to change. So container provide the flexibility to pivot within a predictable ecosystem. The second thing is control over data. Now, this is important because just remember the example of this total FINA. So choose where your data get processed by Azure AI services. This can be essential if you can't send data to the cloud. For example, you cannot send data to the cloud. Okay, so you must keep it here. Um, so but you need access to Azure services API. So in hybrid, it's fantastic. The other feature is control over model updates. So it's a flexibility in versioning and updating model deploying the solution. And of course, the one most important, it's very portable, very agile. So you just create this, this small application architecture and it can be deployed on Azure, on premise and on the edge. Okay, and container can be deployed directly to Kubernetes services, to Azure container instance, or to Kubernetes. Okay, so and it can even be deployed in Azure Stack. Okay, Azure Stack is Azure on-premise. Okay, we're not going to cover that at all. The other thing is that the other benefits is that it's high throughput and low latency. What does it mean? It's the it's provide your customer to scale for high throughput and low latency by enabling Azure services to run physically close to the application logic. Okay, so container don't cap transaction per second and can be made to scale out and handle demand if you provide necessary hardware. So you just can take it and run it on your premise if you want. So I'm gonna show you here the container that we have in Azure to provide the following Docker container, and it's each of which contains a subset of functionality from service in Azure services. Okay, so let me show you that. So here you have all the container. If you click here, you can just take the image here and put it. So you have the anomaly detector, you have the Lewis, okay, language understanding model, you have the language services, remember, input text, okay, key phrase extraction, for example, text language detection, language services to see if people are happy or not, text analytic for health. This is something very nice, but only for medical information. Extract name entities and language. So just click here. For example, let's say I want to have this um, language to see if people are happy or not. You click here, and here you have um, the Azure Text Analytic. Okay, and you can see all the configuration and all the information about this Docker, for example, this container. So here you just go here in image. Okay, so if you want, for example, speech or vision. Let's say, for example, this one or this one. This is to understand movement, interaction with objects in physical environment, for example. So imagine that you are in a shop and you are selling some food, but nobody goes and buy it. Maybe there's a problem, okay? And this is a preview here, this one. So preview is meaning that you mustn't use it in production. And here is it, okay? So you can just do this, and when you do that, he will pull the image, okay? So it's very, very simple. Okay, so hope that it's very clear and why today you should use a container. You can use also container on the cloud, of course. Let me show you a video about that. Okay, so I'm going to put I'm going to start to show you a very nice video about that. Okay, so just bear with me, please.
Every time a technology has moved from the hands of the few to a wide variety of people, a whole new set of capabilities that we never even imagined suddenly come into existence and change the world.
Cognitive services enables developers to take advantage of AI without being a data scientist.
Some enterprises don't have the luxury of being able to call out to the cloud all the time.
Now with cognitive services and containers, that opens up a whole new world of possibilities.
Containerization is really the act of packaging up an application that you can take and put on any machine.
Azure is the only cloud that enables customers to take cognitive services in containers and use them on their own terms, in their own control.
I can go from a development environment to a production environment fairly quickly and build on top of that and expand that.
For example, a remote oil rig may not have bandwidth to transfer all of its data back up to a cloud solution, but definitely has strong needs.
Let's say that you are a hospital and you have tens of thousands of handwritten documents and you need to start processing those. With OCR in containers, you can actually run the models directly over the documents without sending them to the cloud and get a digital version of all that information. If I was in retail and I wanted to process customer feedback about my products, I could run that through language detection and key phrase extraction. Being able to process my text with the sentiment models helps me to understand if what's being said is positive, negative, or neutral. This is enabling an entire new set of applications and use cases for our customers to use AI that previously was not possible.
It's really exciting to see what other people are building on top. That's been amazing to watch, and it's really honestly humbling.
So okay, so now that you understood with this video what is the goal of container, okay, remember that application developer they focus on the infrastructure, okay, so you don't need to be aware about that, and some in some way, like I told you, you want to have more control about the services and the data that is passed between services, and that's why some company wants to take the container and put it on premise, for example. So I want to show you how we're going to create a resource and how we're going to create a container. Okay, so it's very, very easy. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to type container. So it's going to be con container. And when you type container here, I'm going to create a container instance. So it's very simple because you don't have to install Docker on your own premise. You can do it here. Okay, of course you can do the same thing if you want on premise. Okay, so here this is a way to create and manage Docker container in Azure without having to set up VM, or you don't have to set up any infrastructure. Okay, so let's go and create one. So first of all, we have to give the subscription after the resource group where I put all my lab. So it's this one. Let's see container name. So let's see demo AI. And the region, I will put the same region here. And after we'll have the this queue. You have standard here, so we can take this one. And after that, we will give the image type. Okay, so here we have all information. We have the region and we have the image source. So I'm going to say other registry, and it's a public image. And I'm going to go here and I'm going to say that I want the language. Okay, remember that my goal is to have on a container the text analytic language. Okay, so I'm going to here and type it. Remember that I showed you before how you can access all the line here. Okay, this is the image here. It's going to be Linux, of course, and the size here I will put a little more. So let's say that I need, for example, 12 gig. Okay, and I can say, for example, 2 vCPU. I don't have any GPU, but I could have one here, and that's okay. So after that, I will go in my networking. Networking, I will do public, of course, and I'm going to enter a DNS name for this endpoint. Okay, so I can, for example, say AI demo, for example. Okay, so I have here the basic. Okay, remember this is the name of my container name, demo IE. I'm going to put it here on my notepad. So the name is demo IE. Okay, and the networking here, DNS label. Okay, it's a demo. Okay, maybe let's put this one, the same one. Okay, and the port here, I'm going to change it. Okay, so I'm going to change from TCP to 5000. Okay, here, so I'm going to go here and say 5000. Okay, this is important. So this is the port I need to enter. After that, I will do a restart policy on filter. There's an issue, and here I have some environment variable. This is very important. So mark as secure, I will do yes, and the key here will be API key. I need the key for your Azure API service resources. Remember, okay, the key and the billing, and this is the endpoint URL. So here I'm going to type API key. Okay, and here I will put the key here. So I'll go here and take the key, and I will put the value here. This is the first thing. After I will do yes here. The second one will be the billing, so it's the endpoint. So let's say billing, and here I'm going to type the URI for your Azure services resources. Okay, so it's this one here. Okay, you follow me? Yep. And the last one will be no secure because it's not important. It will be allow. So the license, and I will say accept. Okay, so again, you have here the IP API key, the billing. Okay, remember here, and the allow. Okay, and that's it. Okay, and the command override will be like this. Okay. Now I will go and tag. I can create some tag. This is very important. And now it will take like 5-10 minutes to create this container. Okay. So I will do review and create. Sometimes it can be an issue. If there's an issue, it doesn't matter. We're gonna continue the lab. It can, I know that sometimes there's an issue. So, but normally it's okay. So I'm going to do create here, and we're gonna wait like 5-10 minutes. Okay. So see you in 10 minutes. So all was okay, amazing. So we're gonna go here in my resources, and now you have a Docker. Okay, so you can see the status here. It's running. You can see the IP address. This is important because the IP address is the one that I need. This is the public one. And the FQDN is this one. Okay, so this is the FQDN of our container. So in this exercise, you have deployed the Azure container on Azure, of course, but what happens if you want to do it on your premise? So if you want to do it, for example, on a Docker host on your own computer, you can run it. Okay, you can deploy the language detection container on your local Docker instance. Okay. So so now what we're going to do is that we're going to run a command. This is a special Docker run. Okay, so we're going to do a Docker run, and we're going to if you want to run it, of course, on premise. Let me show you that. So I don't know if you know Docker, but if you want to do it, for example, on-prem, imagine that you have Docker on-prem. Docker on-prem. You can even run Docker on your Mac, Windows, or Linux, or have, of course, Docker Enterprise, but this is the line that you must type. So Docker run is to create a Docker, and so this command will look for the image on your local computer. So you must do a pull to have it on your local computer. This one, okay. And if it doesn't find it, it will pull it from the MCR. Okay, so if it doesn't find it, he will pull it from the MCR image and deploy it to your Docker instance. And when the deployment is complete, the container will start and listen on port 500, 5000. But you must here put the endpoint and the IP key. This is so easy. Okay, now let's see that if it's working correctly. So I'm going to put the IP address now that I didn't do it on premise, of course, but now I'm going to do a test here. So I'm going to go back on my test CMD. I'm not going to replace with the IP address. Okay, so bear with me, please. So here I will change the IP address here because now I'm going to do I'm trying to do a curl, okay, for HTTP tool box. So here I need to put the IP address here of the Docker. Okay, it's amazing. It's quite fantastic solution. So I'm going to go here and put the IP address. Come back to our lab and put it here. You can put your FQDN if you want. No issue. Okay, that's good. So you can do a Control S now, and let's go here and open our integrated terminal. And here I can run a test. And normally, if you do that, remember that he's doing a test and trying to make it work like text hello, salut tout le monde, or hello world. Salut tout le monde is in French. Hello everybody. Just to tell you, I'm not doing a French training, but so I'm going to do rest test CMD, and this is something amazing, of course, because when you do that, he will run it, okay, and normally it must work. Let me see what is happening. Okay, there's a small issue here, but this is something that I know. So because normally all is okay if I go here on my container. So all seems to be okay running, but there is some issue waiting. See, started kill. So I don't know really what happened, but it doesn't matter. I think that you can understand the why you are using that. You can see here all the information about your container here. So you can go here on your container. You have the properties, so you see it's port 7000, 12 gig. Okay, all is here. You have the APA key billing. Okay, but this is, you cannot see it, of course. There are secure properties here. Let's see here, identity properties. Okay, so it doesn't matter. So I'm sure that you understood it. So if I found a resolution, I will tell with you. Thank you so much. Bye bye.